They were going to send a flood to wipe them all out. And one of the gods, the number 3 in the triumvirate, thought this was a deplorable idea, so he took it upon himself to warn this person called Atrahasis, who lived in Mesopotamia, to build a boat to rescue life when the waters came. And in it, he told him the shape of it and the materials he would need and how much he would need of the materials, so he could do it safely. And in the 60 lines of the tablet, all this stuff was there. It was like a blueprint to build this boat. And it was extraordinary because it was round, the boat. And everybody who knew their Bible, the Ark's a coffin shape kind of affair. And nobody thought of it being a round boat. And the fact is that round boats were used in Mesopotamia on the rivers, coracles, that's to say, because for transporting things, and they would never sink. They were very appropriate. And so in this story, it was decided it was going to be a giant coracle, a really, really big one that would never sink, and the male and female animals could go in, and Atrahasis' wife and his 3 sons and so forth could go in, and everything would be there, and it would float on the water. And when it came down, they would start all over again. So it's got very many points in common with the description of the flood in Genesis. And of course, so did the one in Gilgamesh. So in 1872, there was a Assyriologist in the British Museum called George Smith. And he was a very, very talented reader. And in 1872, he discovered that one of the tablets from the Nineveh library we were talking about before had on it a passage which ran in parallel with Gilgamesh about the waters coming and the boat and everybody floating, and even to the point that when the rain stopped and the Ark came to rest on a mountain, that the hero of this thing in Gilgamesh, who was called Utnapishtim, released a bird 3 times to see whether the trees had come up, and the first one came back and the second one and the third one didn't, so he knew that. So this was not only in the Epic of Gilgamesh, but it was also in the book of Genesis. So what it meant was that you couldn't have 2 stories. It wasn't 2 stories about the same thing. It was literary dependence. The one was locked into the other.